head coach of the winning Chicago Bulls.
When not to blitz guys. There were times they were waiting for a blitz that wasn't coming. I mean, it seemed like the game plan, it's one thing to have a game plan, but it seemed like it was really well executed on the defensive end as far as when to double team guys, when not to. It looked like their offense was kind of just thinking all that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how they felt, but, I think when you obviously play against a team with great players and, really good personnel, and they're going to have good schemes. I think if you show the same thing over and over and over, I think after a while they kind of get a beat on it. So, we've tried to sprinkle some things in where we give some guys some latitude and some freedom, to understand what we're trying to get accomplished and, do different things out of that. I thought
that was your guys making that read.
No. Like what I mean by that is we have like there's coverage that are in, but like based on areas of the floor it gets to. Sometimes faking, sometimes going, the communication on it, but there's things that we're definitely doing in particular areas of the floor. We're definitely doing things, but what we're trying to do too is there's different coverages too while it's there, and a lot of it is being called out by those guys in those situations.
And to my point, it seems like that's not new for you, but for them guys to execute it, because the last 6 weeks, that seemed to be an issue, that communication of, hey, this is what we want, execute it.
Yeah, I think that they've done, like I said, I thought the week of preparation coming into, the first 2 games here was really good. I thought we made, coming out of game 1, I think it was one of those games, everybody thought maybe it was hard to score points, turnovers, missed shots, low shooting percentages. Maybe it was a week off, maybe it was both teams' defenses, teams just didn't shoot the ball well. But I just thought we made so many mistakes in the coverages that you're talking about now, where I thought we cleaned up some things coming out of game 1, and we kind of were a little bit more on a string, and we executed a little bit better. And at least to start the game, I thought we were somewhat disruptive. We generated some turnovers and got some steals, and we were able to get on the break and kind of get off to a good start. Unlike game 1, we didn't go off to a great start.
So obviously the team defense was so great, but what individually, what did you think of Alex tonight? It seemed like he was kind of everywhere, and it was almost fitting that he got that charge at the end.
No, he was great. I mean, he made a couple big threes. We had a couple rebounds that were big. Just talking to him coming out of game 1, I think he felt like he needed some time to get his legs back under him. He felt like he could play more minutes than I played him in game 1. He thought he was going to need to play more minutes to be able to do that. So I tried to rest him. I mean, he's really a great guy because he will not shortcut or rest on the court, so to speak. He's going to give you everything he has, and when he knows when he needs to come out. Like I talked to him in the 4th with maybe 8 minutes. He says, "I'm going to need a break before I'm not going to be able to close." And I got him off for a little bit, but. I think that he's smart. He knows what he's got to do physically, defensively for our team, and he gives you everything he has. But he also understands when he's running out of fuel, he needs to kind of take a blow and get a break, and you try to get him back in there. But I thought he really played well and did a lot of good things for us tonight.
Does he always talk about the importance of moving on to the next play? It seemed like a lot of your guys on the court, just communicating that to the guys on the court. Every time something went wrong, did you sense that from tonight? Was this as focused as they've been on?
Yeah, I mean, I really felt like, again, I think coming out of the All-Star break, the teams that we played, the way we played, and especially the last 4 home games, that really was not us at all, the regular season, and it was disappointing with the way we played, and felt like we were better, and I think coming out of the Minnesota game and then having that 6 days, like I said, I think our guys worked really hard. And I think they, have to understand that mentality that you're talking about. Like, you have to, like, we're up by 16 or 18, and they come storming right back, and they cut it down to 6. Like, you have to deal with that. There's going to be these swings, and the communication was great. Like, when they cut it down, I think it was 6 in the huddle. You can hit, hey, we know they're going to make a run. Okay, now it's time for us to respond. We got to respond right now, and we did. We got the lead back up, and that's what you got to be able to do. And I do think maybe playing against some of these higher level teams, at the end of the year has maybe kind of hardened us, helped us grow. It's helped us get better. It's helped us be able to have that kind of mentality where we say, we got to move on to the next play. Because I think that at times this year when we've played against good teams, when it started to go a little bit the other direction, we didn't have enough in us to get it back going in our direction. And we have to be able to do that, especially in the playoffs, just because teams are too good. They're too talented. and especially this team that's got such continuity. Like they've seen everything. They've been down. They've been down in series. They've been down in games. They've been up. Like there's nothing they haven't seen. And they're seasoned, and there's a lot of guys that have been in the league for a long time and have experienced a lot of winning. So you know they're going to respond. It's not going to be just this game that's going to go 48 minutes just in one direction. You know they're going to fight back, and they did. And we had to make some plays, and I think that's the kind of toughness that you have to build up, from a mentality standpoint. But they had that toughness to kind of come back as well.
Billy, we've asked you a good amount of times about DeMar and how challenging it could be for him in the series with the waves of perimeter defenders that Milwaukee can throw at him. But what did you see from him tonight and the way he was able to get to his spots and convert in the way that he wasn't?
I just thought he was really aggressive, in terms of the way he went. And then I thought, when they started trapping him late, he did a really good job of getting off the ball, moving it. He got it to Vooch a few times and allowed Vooch to shoot or make it to the, get it to the next guy. But I thought he was really decisive. Even coming out at the start of the game, he was really decisive early. And I think that's what you got to do, is you got to be really decisive. And that's what he was tonight.
Would you make of their decision to not trap DeMar early on in the third?
I'm sorry?
I felt like they didn't resort to the trap until late in the fourth quarter. What did you make of that decision from the Bucks?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know exactly the exact time when they were doing it. But listen, they've got really, really elite defenders. They've won a world championship. Obviously, their staff knows their team really, really well. That would probably be a question for them. But they've been a top 10 defense all year long, and they've been one of the better defensive teams in this league for a long time. So I think that they probably feel like they have, understanding what they wanted to do. And, when they decided to trap a Y, those are it's hard for me to respond to something like that, just because I got such great respect for their team and how good they are defensively.
I wanted to, Vooch said it's okay if I follow up on that.
Yeah, okay.
I wanted to follow up what you were saying before about one of the symptoms in these last couple of weeks in the regular season, when you would have a lead or something would happen bad and things would go awry. When it got down to 3 at the end of that third quarter, and then you spaced it out to 7, and then started the fourth with that 9-0 run or something, that really gave you the space to hold on. What did you see individually from those guys that enabled them to do that at that point after so many failures earlier in this, last few weeks doing that?
Yeah, I'm hopeful it's some growth from our guys. I think guys like Vooch and DeMar and Zach and these veteran guys, they played a lot of basketball, and they know that, in the league there's gonna be these swings. And I think those guys poised, their leadership and the communication was really good. And to what you just mentioned, that was the talk. We got to move to the next play, the next situation. And, there maybe was some growth, in our team. A lot of these guys hadn't been in those situations. And I really think that that's why some of these teams that are upper echelon, really, really good teams in this league, whether it be in the East and the West, they do that. They understand the swings in a game, and they don't get emotionally wrapped up, and they're able to focus on the next possession in front of them and just go out there and play. And I think maybe we've learned some of that stuff with some of the teams we played, especially, in April and coming out of the All-Star break with as challenging as our schedule was, that we had to learn some of those things.
DeMar, Vooch, and Levine all shooting over 50% tonight.
I'm sorry?
Your big three all shot over 50% tonight after what happened game 1. Were they just getting better shots, or just what kind of keyed that turn out?
Well, I think, the one thing I'd say about those three guys is they're, highly professional in terms of, that they're very, very detailed. They're going to put the work in. They're going to get ready to play. And I felt very, very good about the shots that all of them got. We just didn't have a great shooting night in game 1. That happens. And, we came back and we responded better and shot the ball better. But I think that's a tribute to these guys and just their understanding of who they are as a player and what they got to do to get themselves ready to play the next night. And they're too good offensively, and I think they're too focused and they work hard enough. So I thought we generated probably some better shots tonight, just with some different things that happened. But overall, I think that I got a lot of confidence in these guys when they're open and they take shots. I got a lot of trust that when we get good shots, good things are going to happen.
Billy, did you go back to the start earlier than we wanted to at the end of the third and know that run?
Probably a little bit. Yep.
Thanks, Coach.
Yep. Thank you. Okay, thank you.
Thanks.